was going to put my.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. It's Allan Laboucan with the Rocks and Stocks News, and I'm really happy to have Goliath Resources on. They're my highest conviction pick for a gold discovery project, and every new hole they announce makes me feel more and more confident with that conviction. And I've got Roger Rosmus on to talk about their news that they had out yesterday. Roger, thanks for joining us today.
Alan, pleasure. Thanks for having me back. Certainly lots of things going on.
Yeah, is that for sure? You know, Roger, I had this great geologist as a mentor, and he always kept things really simple. And I always find that's kind of a hallmark of geniuses. They can take really complex things and make it simple. And what he used to say to me is, you know, Alan, a lot of projects, they start out really, really big, and then you drill them and they get really, really small. He said, but the difference is when you're on a mine, they just get better and better and better the more drilling you do. And I don't throw around the potential for a tier one deposit very often, but this evidence on is what is comes out every time you guys put out more drilling.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, Alan, I'm just blown away every time I'm reading our daily reports. I do receive those, at midnight or I guess 3 a.m. Eastern Standard. So it's like I'm obviously I'm not there, but it's like I am there. So it's all happening in real time. Very exciting, and obviously we're trying to keep the shareholders up to date as to what's happening and just some of the things that to possibly expect, and just trying to keep everyone educated, and so everyone can have the same type of information that we have and the drillers have and the people at the camp have. Yeah, no, we're knocking it out of the park based on our first set of results for the year. Seeing lots of visible gold and most of the holes here so far, and based on our last year, I think was what 35% of the holes we drilled contain visible gold. Nice nuggety gold, nice coarse gold. The coarser or the deeper we get, the coarser the gold gets, and and a new I guess the discovery of this year is the intrusive now, which we thought was barren. We found actually had visible gold, high amounts of molybdenum, moly, and bismuth, which is one of these things where maybe these dikes, these intrusive dikes that we're seeing, could be part of that whole feeder type system. So we're actually going to go back and really look at some of our 2023 drill holes where we just didn't really even give it a second look, the intrusive. So we'll be assaying some of those holes from 2023 and just seeing if there's some things that we missed, because possibly we might have left a ton of gold or potential gold up on the mountain. But clearly this year we're paying super close attention to that. We've incorporated that box scan from Geotech, which obviously helps identify some of these type of Pathfinder elements, which is equipped with the XRF as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You know, I love new technology, and being able to have a machine, a smart machine that can accurately look over the core. You know, sometimes the geos, they get tired, they work a lot. You know, but this machine can accurately, precisely, and quickly pump data right into your model.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's happening all real time. We can adjust our holes, we can adjust pads to a certain degree, but clearly at the end of the season, we're going to have a very let's call it consistent, clean data that we'll be able to use to again, remodel. So we're just looking at the model here. We'll have another iteration after we have all the results of this year as well. So. But I mean, right now, I'm most excited about obviously Bonanza, where we got almost a 12-meter intercept, super high grade zone. Within there was like I guess what 6 meters over an ounce. But clearly, a 12-meter zone Bonanza. We've got a nice step out. Actually, a friend of mine, who's a geologist, has been in the business for a very, very long time, just kind of took that point, did a 50-meter kind of diameter around that. And he said, there's potential with, with that width and grade, Bonanza, there's possibly like 120,000 ounces of gold just in that one
Just
little
in a
pocket there.
50-meter radius. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
folks, that's not NI
All subject to,
43-101 compliant.
it's no. This is what he said. This is his opinion. It's not my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
just repeating what he told me.
Yeah, well, your friend is a pretty sharp guy, so he's
Yeah.
not just
Well,
throwing numbers around there without
no.
any evidence.
Yeah. And then, I mean, if you look at hole 237 that we announced, abundant visible gold, three zones, actually, pardon me, four zones, VG, the intrusive, Bonanza, et cetera. That's like a, yeah, 105-meter step out as well. In addition, on that hole, the 237, we have a 300-meter step out
Holy.
uh, on one of the other horizons. So, this is happening in real time, very exciting. And, if we can potentially add some serious high grade type of material or confirm that it's there and have these kind of spacings, I think it'll bode well for the company shareholders and obviously when it comes to rebuilding the model at the end of the season.
You know, Roger, I tend to put every project into my mind as a diamond exploration project, and you've got the scars and diamonds as well. But the
Right.
basics is that you use diamond indicator minerals to lead you towards the source.
Mhm.
And so this is how I kind of always look at things. And so what I've seen with Sherbet is that high up in the system, right below this massive outcrop, you get sporadic fine grained gold. And then you go deeper, you get more fine grained gold, visible gold.
Yes.
Deeper, you're getting bigger visible gold, and it's becoming more abundant. And
Yes.
so what I see happening is that it's leading you towards the heat engine because of the way it's distributed in the system. And
Yes.
that last news release really blew me away. I don't know if everybody caught it, but I sure did, because now you've got evidence in the drill hole with the mineralization that you may have tapped the top of the heat engine that got all this visible gold up into the system.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, and let's not forget about GD 23197 drilled last year in the Bonanza. Again, a step out, from our 197 basically last year, and then the step out on 235 for this year is a significant step out as well. And that actually ran 9 meters, pretty much true width. So Bonanza essentially lies flat. Um, and the veins are essentially lying flat in there as well. And we essentially hit it perpendicular. So pretty much true width here, folks.
True
So
width. Yeah, it's not like
yeah,
a
so
half
we
a
got a
meter.
nine meters over an ounce. I
Yeah.
think that was 1.13 ounce gold equivalent and the per ton. And
So
now this,
Bonanza might not be just going like this. It can also be going like this, getting widening, because that's true width is almost 7 meters of high grade. That's
well,
impressive.
nine meters of high grade and 6 meters of high grade, but the entire, I'm just talking like the super over 1 ounce material. You got one that's at 6 meters, and the other one's at 9 from last year. But if you'd use the entire distance, you get 12 meters. And I forget what 197 was, but I think it was kind of in that vicinity as well, kind of like a 12 or 14 meter intercept in total with, double digit gold numbers or gold equivalent numbers. And again, think about that, putting a dot on your page, do a 50-meter circumference around that, do the density at 2.903, average grade, average width, or the width, and that'll give you your number. I get
Everybody
eight.
else could do the math. It
Yeah,
adds
they
up.
can do the math. I don't,
Does
yeah,
adds up to a lot of ounces in a small radius.
yeah, but potential ounces, obviously,
Yeah, potential.
101 dependent
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff need
make
to.
sure you give all your qualifiers their there,
for sure.
Roger. We don't want people to think we're arm waving without
No.
qualifying our forward-looking statements.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not arm waving. It's the real thing. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
make this stuff up. And clearly, the gold didn't come from above. The gold came from below, right? So it's down there somewhere, and we feel we're getting more proximal to that heat engine. Again, just with
Something
the
else that
results.
really excites me, Roger, is I hear a lot in the mining business, people say, we're at the tip of the iceberg. We're at the tip of the iceberg. But how big is the iceberg? Are you really at the tip? Are you in the guts of the tip? But what, stands out to me, and this is the big picture, folks, I want you to keep aware of when you're looking at the Sherbet discovery. It starts at the valley floor on one side of a mountain. The outcrop goes up the mountain to the top and down the other way, literally like an iceberg. Okay. Then they drilled progressively deeper below that outcrop, and they see a series of stacked zones in the sediments right below that big outcrop. And now they're getting lower into the system, and they're getting that system continuing into the volcanics. And as they're getting into the volcanics, now they're getting evidence that they're. I got to show my hands here. So you start with an outcrop like this. You show that there's sheets of stacked zones of mineralization with visible gold all over the place. And it's kind of getting bigger and bigger as you get closer to the heat engine. So this, by definition, tells you that with the truth machine, they are drilling into an iceberg. It's not
Correct.
wishful thinking.
Correct. And also, the word deeper and deeper is Alan, folks need to realize we're still above the valley floor, so we're really not deep. We're just
Yeah, that's
the
another
drill.
thing.
It's a down dip hole. So what do we hit this at? 500 meters, 800 meters, folks. I mean, to the tip of the mountain is 800 meters ish. So, or a little more actually. I think it's about 950. But even drilling 1,000 meters, we're still above the valley floor if we're drilling from the top of the mountain. So it really depends on where the pads are situated. So these pads that we've announced is from the Golden Gate pad, and that's still about, we call it 700 meters above the valley floor-ish, thereabouts, 750. So it's not deep down below, it's actually still up above, just a matter of where the drill is situated, the pad and the intercept. So obviously if we're
For
further
my
down.
audience, why that's important and really important is not like you're starting at a horizontal flat land and you're going down 800 meters. You're dealing with a mountain where you can come in from the side if you're looking at mining it. So you're not going down 800 meters from surface to get down to that. You can actually come in from the side of it.
That's
Uh,
correct.
so that's pretty impressive stuff, Roger.
Yeah, it is. It's actually mind-blowing actually what's going on, but I think I've said that a few times already. So I mean, every day I'm in awe as to what's going on, what they're finding up there, and obviously looking for more assays to deliver to the market.
Yeah, and Roger, a lot of times I see companies batching results together because basically what they're doing is they drill 10 holes and they get two good ones and eight bad ones, and so they batch it all together into 10 holes, and we got good results over here on two of them.
Yeah,
You're not even batching one hole.
yeah. Well,
You
we did it.
reported the first zone, but you hit
Yeah.
two more below that.
Good.
And
Yeah. Well,
you,
exactly. There's assays pending on further two down dip holes. One obviously an intrusive portion of it, and the other one further down in the volcanic. So assays pending. So obviously we'll announce those once those are received and interpreted and so on and so forth. But we did actually announce one other hole from the Gopher Gold pad, hole number 236, which still intercepted. It was like 6 meters of 4 grams gold equivalent, which is still pretty darn good. I mean, that's not a bad hole.
yeah.
just in that this past news release. So, which I'm happy with. I've said it from the beginning. Assuming the system overall, at the end of the day, all said and done, if it's sort of 5 meters at 5 grams gold equivalent, guess what? Those are total mineable grades and widths at
Well,
any single
especially
miner we
with
look.
the recovery you get using gravity alone,
Yes.
that's easy to get that material, that gold out of the rock, folks.
Yeah. Well, 50% is free gold. So it's like the gold is almost falling out of the host rock, right? No cyanide required, just gravity flotation. Um, it's perfect, based on those results. So I mean, that's a definite positive. And then we've got the town of Kitsault, which just had an analyst tour. I guess it was last week, and they were blown away with the facilities in Kitsault. They thought, oh yeah, okay, a town, but they're like, oh my God, this is actually a town type of thing with houses and apartment buildings and what have you. So one of the things we're going to do is, we're going to get a drone and kind of just do a tour of Kitsault so people
Perfect.
will understand what's happening there. And also the old Molly mine is obviously just right adjacent to the town itself. I mean, all the equipment is gone and what have you, but there is a permitted, brownfield site to put a mill. If one wanted to, I guess you'd have to go back and get additional permits and what have you. But we tick all the boxes. Sits on tidewater, barge access either side of the project. You can move material very cost effective down to Prince Rupert into Kitsault, et cetera. But just another attribute. High tension power. Tell me, show me another asset like this, a brand new original discovery that has had, call it 1 year in aggregate of drilling put into it. So it's pretty
Wow.
incredible. And I think we've just gotten, it's a very long ball game here, and I think we're still in the first inning.
Well, you're kind of making my job a little easy for me, Roger, because you got to create a correlation between visible gold and high grade. And so, in diamonds, we use indicator minerals as the breadcrumbs that lead us
Hmm.
to the diamonds. In this
Yeah.
case, you're using gold as the breadcrumb to lead us
Yeah.
to the high grade.
Well, to that analogy, the best place to find a diamondiferous kimberlite is to follow the diamonds you're finding at surface, right?
Well, that doesn't happen very diamond
Oh, I know,
indicator.
I know,
Yeah,
I know. I've been there. I drilled a lot of basalts in Botswana, so
yeah.
I've been there, got the scars.
Yeah, but it's like you're following breadcrumbs towards what you're looking for. And in
Exactly.
your case, the breadcrumb is what you're looking for. It's visible gold is leading you to more visible gold and abundant visible gold, and now minerals that suggest you're coning in on the heat engine that caused all that mineralization.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great, and again, the new piece of information is, the intrusive is mineralized, and there's quite a bit of intrusive dikes there, and actually on the west of the property as well. So we're going to go back and look at it because in 2023 we actually drilled a hole on the Pluton. I think that hole ran it was like 29 meters of like just over a gram. And then there was some others kind of 4 meter intervals, decent grade. But we didn't actually test the intrusive part of that hole. So actually that's one of the things we're going to do. There was actually 3 holes from that one pad just way off to the west, and just see what's going on with us intrusive. And if we get lucky, hopefully it's got some type of lots of bismuth and moly or what have you. And we'll definitely go send those off for assays at the lab.
Roger, I've been in this business a long time, and so have you. And I just haven't seen many things like this in my entire 30 years in the business.
Yeah, nor have I. So, it's just one of these things where you look at it, people are trying to figure out, what is it? Epithermal? Is it a porphyry? Is it intrusive? Is it one of these reduced
Origin
intrusive deals? It's kind of like a smorgasbord
for a
of
geo
a geologist's best,
dream.
yeah, all you can eat buffet. You got all kinds of things going on. And again, you got visible gold in every post rock that we're seeing at this particular juncture, which is definitely doesn't happen every day.
Well, for me, the way I'm following that VG and the distribution and the amount and the coarseness is getting coarser. I mean, it also could look like an orogenic gold system somewhat, the way that VG is distributed. And then you've got a porphyry. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's been some analogies of multiple things, the Red Mountain, like when we're just talking like structure as well as the type of system. The SNP has come up, Red Mountain has come up. And then obviously, Quentin, he's quite comfortable with the pogo as a good analogy
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well. So it's a bit of a combination. Like I say, there's lots going on here. First inning of the ball game here. Again, only what in the Sherbet proper, only about 55,000 meters to date, from 2021 to 2023. So obviously, we're going to learn a lot more after the season. And again, I think that our model that we have will have another iteration, and I'm very, very excited about what's happening at Bonanza with these grades and these widths and these step outs that we're seeing with some of the holes that we've announced with lots of VG and lots of sulfides and what have you. So all the right ingredients to essentially expand the known mineralized horizon at Bonanza. Because if you recall back in the day, I guess it was after 2022, we thought Bonanza was maybe like 3 meters at kind of 3 grams gold type of thing. But bottom
yeah,
line, we just need more pierce points, Allan, and that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
we're
Well,
doing.
that's kind of good because you're drilling where you can get like this first hole, you hit three separate zones. So
Yes,
where you're drilling from is really kind of ideal to get a cross section of all of the various different zones.
yes, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the intrusive, obviously, and then into Bonanza, and then down kind of Golden Gate, or just maybe another vein. We didn't actually intercept the Sherbet just where it was situated, but we did hit, like I say, three zones on the 237. I think we hit four horizons that we announced.
237 is pending, right?
Everything
Yeah.
else is pending at the moment.
So there's two intersections in 235 that are still pending, and
Correct.
then
Yep.
all of 237, and then you guys are continuing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So the total meters of mineralization that we sent to the lab is totals about 105 meters uh, in aggregate. And obviously we're looking forward to seeing those as soon as possible. This is one with the again porphyritic dike. That was 237. So and that's actually a step out. That was 100 and change step out from Bonanza, and then we have a 300-meter step out. I believe it's at the Golden Gate. And again, folks,
Oh,
the iteration may change depending on how they connect the veins
yeah.
and how these guys do it, the modelers. But and right now, I think the guys are just interpreting it as Golden Gate at this particular juncture. So yeah, so lots of good things to look forward to.
Well, you're giving your geos a little bit of less headaches than exploration usually makes. And that, what I'm getting at there is another thing that everybody says grade is king in mining. But reality is what is king is grade and continuity.
Correct.
And when you have continuity, you have predictability. And when you have predictability, it makes your geo's job a lot easier. And that they seem to have a clear picture of what's going on and having great success with the truth machine. Good
Yeah,
on
definitely.
them.
Thank you. And I kudos. They're doing an amazing job. But to that continuity comment, we're adjusting every time we finish a drill hole. If we need another hole off that particular pad, we're able to in real time kind of figure out, okay, where's the best next place to send the next hole down to. But ultimately, we're hitting the zones or these various horizons that we're targeting within, call it between 10 meters, 10 to 20 meters, plus or minus, or bang on, which again goes to the
Of
continuity that I.
what your guys predicted where it would be.
Correct.
Holy
Like
moly.
almost to a T. It's almost, yeah, we're approaching XY, this meterage, down dip, downhole, pardon me, and and hitting the various zones. So it is very a predictable type of system. The continuity is there, and we're just adding to the confidence of that continuity for every hole that we were able to drill. Like I say, we're hitting like multiple zones. So it's not like it's all dead hole, and then we're hitting one zone. We're hitting multiple zones on the way down, expanding on the known horizons we already have, increasing the confidence that it is continuation of what we're seeing to the north, the east and the west and to the south.
Wow, Roger. I mean, I think you can kind of sense my enthusiasm for the project.
Yeah,
I've been in this business a long time, and when I see something that really gets me pumped up, I can't hold back my enthusiasm. You see it in my arm waving and everything, and I'm blown away by this project.
me too. Ditto.
You got any closing comments before I close it up, Roger?
You know what? Just stay tuned, folks. More to come and lots of excitement. And thanks very much for supporting us, any of you shareholders out there.
Thank you, Roger. Yeah, folks, as always, my shows are for information purposes only. I do your homework, speak with your financial advisors, but Roger and I have been in this business a long time, as well as advisors. And finding something like this, I mean, I've said to people, I don't throw around terms like my highest conviction discovery project lightly. I don't talk about the potential for a tier one pro discovery often. I've been doing market commentation since 2005, and this is the first time I've done that actually. And so I don't throw those around lightly. And it's all about what the truth machine is telling me. The drilling is telling me that this is where it's headed. The geology, the rocks, the grades, the mineralization, everything is pointing in that direction, and they just keep on showing that potential drill hole after drill hole. And I started this show by talking about a mentor of mine. This guy was a brilliant geologist, and he said to me what I said at the start: projects often start out big and get small as they put the truth machine to work. In mines, it gets better and better the more drill holes you throw at it. And that's exactly what's happening at Sherbet. And we didn't even get into Treasure Island. I'm super pumped about Treasure Island, which is 35 kilometers away, because it's a VMS target. And Eskay Creek put the Golden Triangle on the map as the highest grade mine during its production. And so whenever I hear massive sulfides, high grade mineralization, I get excited. And they got that 35 kilometers to the north. So stay tuned, folks. Basically, they're going to have a lot of news out. We're going to do more of these interviews. Take a look at Goliath Resources. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.